Yeah, so we are here from Estonia, from Haapsalu Vocational Education and Training Center. We have a lot of different specialities for young adults and also for adults. And today we are going to present to you our sustainability policy. It's quite new, we didn't have one before that meeting actually. Like I said before that they were trying to find one, and our version is just made by our small work group. So my name is Liis. This is Iri, our educational technologist, and she is also a teacher. I have with me also Pille, who's teaching science in our school, and I have with me Merle, who is teaching Estonian lesson, and of course our students, but they are talking about themselves later. And let's move on. So, in our presentation, we are going to talk about also not only our sustainability policy, but also some initiatives that we have taken in this year in spring. So we are trying to tell you about some new things, not about the things that we already have done or that we have introduced you during our previous meetings. And also, we made as a draft also plan for the next year, for the next school year, what kind of things we are wanting or planning to do with our students and also with our teachers. And yeah, we have added some ideas and also some things that are not so good, and maybe we think that these things are like keeping us back so that we can't do the things that we would love to. Okay, so some examples as I promised to you. So in May happened, there's always like two events. One of them is in May and another one is in September. And this is a community activity event that is actually organized so that it happens all around Estonia. So the short name of it is just Let's Do It. So it was originally meant for the purpose like to clean the nature around us. But this year's event was focused on cleaning up the old basements. You know that in the old basement you can find very old jams and whatever, potatoes, pickles or whatever. So let's clean up the old basements, also saunas. I think that the culture of having a sauna and going there is very traditional thing to Estonians and also to Finnish people. And also creating biodiversity around schools. And Ari already opened the webpage of the organization who is organizing that event. And why I'm speaking about it right now, because some of our students and also workers took part from this event with their families and friends all around Estonia. And there is also a map that is usually showing how many people were taking part from all around of Estonia from this event. And you can see that our school, it is near Haapsalu, so you can see how many participants were registered in our region. And as you may know, we have students from all around of Estonia, so we're not sure so how many of them were taking part of it, but we know surely that a lot of them did it, like tradition, area's tradition, with their families and friends in their own hometowns or villages. Another thing, another slide, please. Yeah. So it's an activity that happened first time in this spring, and it had the name "A Nest for Every Bird." And Kirke, one of our students, is going to tell you about it a bit later because she was the one who was helping to organize it. Another community project where our students were taking part of and they were also organizing it was the community project Your Ideas and Our Experiences. So our handcraft students were helping children and young people to redesign their old favorite clothes. And Another thing that I have mentioned there is collecting plastic out here. So it is a kind of a success story that we started last year in December. Firstly, the aim was just to separate like the bottles that have this special sign on. So that means that they are biopackable, that students are not throwing them together with other garbage into a trash bin, but to separate them. And later, that the students have collected enough bottles or packages, they also went with them to the buyback center and they got money for their own Christmas party. And after that, we have had two similar campaigns, and the students have collected money for the animal shelters. They bought cat food to cats, and one of the latest was that our students were collecting money in that way for the kindergartens, so that the kindergartens could buy fruit trees and plant them into their yards. And nature festival, the last one, it is a tradition in our school. We have the specialty that is called nature tourism, and that the students they have to organize every spring event for the whole community, not only for our school, and it is called Nature Festival. And it is also like a part of their studies, and they are going to get mark for it later. Then they can show what they have studied through their studies in our school. So, next one please. Yeah. So I was telling you about collecting coffee crowns, and I believe it was in Germany. And I remember that almost all of you were speaking about the same thing: how useful is to collect it, and what for you can use it in your flower beds, and so on. And I told you that we have a special bin for it also in our school teachers' room, but it was a bit problematic because people didn't care what they are throwing into that bin. So not only coffee crowns, but also other trash went in as well, despite of the fact that we had separate bins. And now I can tell you that teachers they learned also something, especially after the sign that we put next to the bin that says that coffee crowns only, please. And another problem that I told you about in Germany was that how to say, we have different specialities in our school, and we are also teaching builders and painters and finishers, yeah. And the most expensive kind of waste or trash that we are collecting are coming from these specialities. And of course, we have a special container for collecting all these, but they were opened once, and the local people were using them for their own good as well. So it is quite expensive kind of trash because we are not sorting it. The company who is giving us the service, who is collecting this waste from us, they are also sorting it for us. So, and if the locals are bringing secretly their own trash into our bin, so our bills will be even higher. So, and now I can tell you that we have built to separate or to how to say, to manage them or to solve this problem, a special building around the container and also the yard around this building. So and the gate is locked, so locals are not using us anymore that way. Okay, thank you. So, and now about our policy. We have created a draft policy that we are planning to introduce to our teachers and students in the beginning of the next school year in December. And we believe that the purpose of it is to define the school sustainability framework and provide appropriate support in teaching and organizational development. And to create it, we also read about the basics of a sustainable business because in vocational school we prepare workers for the work environment. And here you can read it in Estonian, and if you really want to know what is written in that document, you can read it also in English. So if you don't have anything special to do right now, here you are. But I will tell you about it, so don't worry. So we all agreed that the school has its role in developing social knowledge by increasing the awareness of STAR students, employees, and the community. We agreed that the school is convinced that people who keep sustainability in mind in their activities are more successful in the long term. A knowledgeable learner will also be preferred in the eyes of the employers in the future. So, the school contributes to raising the awareness of its employees and introduces the topic of sustainability into the curriculum. In this way, the school contributes to achieving sustainable development goals, creating value from an educational, social, and environmental point of view, helps to reduce the risk of any direct or indirect impact of the environment and climate. So, we were thinking about what is sustainable education. We believe that society values the school as an organization whose activities are based on sustainable politics. And the school desires to be a leader in developing sustainable education, in vocational education, and in the community. And to achieve this, the focus should be in developing school activities, staff awareness, and community involvement. Measurable goals and the motivation program must be also designed. Curriculum development is essential, like we were talking about in our previous meeting in Turkey. Investments in sustainable technology to develop infrastructure, and only this way it is possible to ensure the development of teachers and learners. And for creating our policy, we had a lot of different discussions, so you can see that we were actually working. Yeah, and in the picture you can see our small team, and we made meetings for or with the students and our principal too. We were asking opinion from our students, and I would like to point out our second course students from IT and cabinet maker specialty, and our third year students from construction and finishing. And about our students' opinion, what we did, you can hear now from them.
Hi, my name is Kika Maria. She is Diana, he is Rai, and he is Sander. So we are students in carpenter and IT.
So we were looking or trying to find answers to these questions. Do we know if my school has sustainability policy? What have we done so far? What more could we do? What do we do in our school to promote sustainability? And do we have something that does not allow us to do what we would love to?
What have you done? No wood is wasted, study materials are used sustainably. You can take water from the water dispenser with your own bottle, recycling trash, participating in Erasmus plus projects. Dealing with sustainability issues around litter and waste, energy, water, travel and biodiversity, as well as curricular change to support sustainability. Initiatives and great school sustainability policy for the future. Why is it so important?
My idea is sustainability is a crucial part of the everyday environment and it should be taught to young beings the sooner the better.
Sustainability improves the quality of our lives, protects our ecosystem, and preserves natural resources for future generations. By changing a few light bulbs to a less energy consuming model, you can already do so much.
So, a nest for every bird. This event took place on 28th April in Paralepa forest near Haapsalu. This event was meant for the families. This was a community project that was organized by Estonian Red Cross, Haapsalu Young People Interest Center, and Haapsalu Vocational Education and Training Center. We helped to build and install warehouses. Families could hear a lecture about birds' life and learn some tips on how to survive in nature. We prepared the materials in the school so it's easier for the children. Children built the houses with nails and their fathers and mothers helped them so it's easier for them. Ideas for the future. Our ideas is collecting rainwater to water the trees and plants around the school area, filling up bottles from natural leftover materials, and we want to build flower bed frames from wood materials that we cannot use for anything else.
How to get more participants? In cooperation with the environmental board or other similar agencies. Make a competition for picking up the most garbage from the ground. And the prize would be either a hike, excursion to the nature, or a museum where you can learn more about this field in the middle of the nature. Invite someone to speak on sustainability topic. Do the environment related activities during the lessons, not after the classes. Kind of like separate lessons for that. Student council could push the idea, hopefully others would listen.
Barriers, no interest, no ideas, laziness, some people, no idea, and time. Our school doesn't have some villages police yet, and that's it. Let's play the